Yes, he's on down that road. Oh, we've got our very own Dorothy.
Cool, I like that.
You want to be the lion? Yeah? I was the scarecrow in grade 7. Makes you the Tin Man. Good morning and welcome to our spiritual community. Welcome to Unity of Tucson in our virtual offering this week. It is a beautiful, beautiful Sunday morning. Yes, church has remained open. I want everyone to know that church has remained open. It's just the building that is closed right now. And I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to join us here today. Let's go ahead and put this video up of all of the faces of our community again. And we'll get going with our song today. I know the truth about you. I feel the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is all right. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is all right. I see you dripping with abundance and ease. I see you enjoying the life you please. Playful at work and creative at play. I see you in gratitude for every day. And I say, I know the truth about you. I feel the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is all right. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is all right. I know the dreams of your heart want to fly. It's time to spread your wings and give it a try. The love you give, you know you're bound to receive. Your good can only grow the more you believe. Come on now, I know the truth about you. I feel the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is all right. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Your biggest self can't be denied. You got no place to hide because I know the truth about you. I feel the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is all right. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is all right. I know the truth about you. I feel the power within you. I know that love surrounds you. Everything is all right. I know the truth about you. I see the light within you. Just let it shine on brightly. Everything is all right. Yes, it is. Everything is all right. Oh my gosh, I feel so, I've got a lot of energy today. I don't know if you can tell. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are a spiritual community that gathers every single Sunday, and we are here to teach practical tools for a better life. And so I'm grateful that you've decided to join us this morning. It is my belief that we can precipitate our own spiritual evolution. Spiritual evolution for me is what this is all about. It is about understanding that there's a spiritual principle, and that when we understand and embody that principle, life just goes in the positive direction. It goes in the direction of the constructive as opposed to the destructive. And so I am here to say, let us precipitate our own spiritual evolution, which means that when change is required, it simply unfolds. But I want us to start, of course, with the understanding of our mission here at Unity of Tucson. And it's going to come up on your screen, and I'd love for us to read this together. And again, as I've been saying, allow yourself to feel what you feel around this. Don't just read it by rote, but really listen to yourself and feel what the words do for you. Here we go. Within the principles of unity, we are a ministry of love, inspiration, learning, wholeness, acceptance, and joy that empowers all people to embrace their divine nature. Well, the mission, that's a good mission. The mission is a practical way to engage a vision. And I believe personal transformation is possible, and in fact, it is probable, and it is our work to awaken to our magnificence. And what I know is that everything we do, everything I offer is in service to this goal. The tenets of this vision of ministry that I carry with me are simple, and they are as easy as you decide for them to be, and they are these. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. And in remembering who we are, I know a truth about you, and it is this. You are magnificent. You are magnificent because you are the love, you are the light, you are the life. So I would encourage you now to use the chat function of the video for just a moment and send some messages to let other people know their magnificence. Do so in your own unique voice, in your own unique way. Just take that moment to acknowledge the other people in this community who are watching with you this morning, the family that are watching with you this morning. And I do want to say good morning and let everyone here know that I see you and you are magnificent. I'm grateful to have you here. Magnificence over here to my left in Laura, of course. You are magnificent. Wally, Don, you're all, Karen, you are magnificent. As these messages go out and allowing that energy to envelop the world, through the decision that it does that, I'm going to invite us all to relax right where we are for just a few moments. Utilizing this month's affirmation to serve perhaps as a mantra. This month's affirmation is in alignment with the theme for the month, the still small voice. So this month's affirmation, as it comes up, you can have your eyes closed. I'll read it for you, but it does come up on your screen. It is this, and I invite you to take this into your heart. I listen to the inner voice of divinity, and I am always guided in perfection. I listen to the inner voice of divinity, and I am always guided in perfection. So allow yourself to take that to heart. Just simply letting the feeling of that ruminate. Let it roll around in your mind, inhabiting your spiritual space and your physical space. Settling into the breath. I listen to the inner voice of divinity, and I am always guided in perfection. Breathing in that perfection, and breathing out anything unlike it. Breathing in the love, and breathing out anything unlike it. Breathing in the light, breathing out anything unlike it. Settling into the breath for just a few moments in the quiet.
Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a sense of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a sense of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Thank you. We've come to the time in our Sunday where we engage in this ritual called lighting the flames of faith, and I'm grateful to have Laura here, as always, to help serve. Grateful to have you here. We do this ceremony in honor of the faith traditions and the religious ideologies, the spiritual traditions of the world. And with each candle that we light, it is a representation and a recognition that each and every one of them is rooted in that divine golden thread of love. And so, we light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the divine will of love as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and presence of Spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them and for all faith traditions unnamed in this ceremony. We light a candle, this final candle, to represent the healing of any circumstance that requires divinity to be revealed, for that is the true nature of healing. The revelation of the divine energy, the creative source, Spirit, God, at the core of all creation. And so this is your candle for whatever's in your mind and in your heart that requires the light. Thank you. The candle to your left is the peace candle. And we keep this candle consistently illuminated with the understanding that its consistent illumination is a reflection of the consistent illumination of peace in our hearts. And as we trust in that consistent illumination, peace moves beyond the physical boundaries of our body, and we create peace in this world. And so that's why we keep it always lit. Let's honor this candle by reading together the prayer for world peace. Divine love indwells each person and radiates from one to another. Harmony is established, and peace begins to reign in the world. Yeah. The song that I wanted to sing today is a song that I thought that I have done since I've been back in Tucson, and it actually isn't a song I've done since I've been back in Tucson. I was just talking to Linda about that this morning, that I went and looked at all of my notes on all the songs that I've sung when I was at Tucson New Thought, and I thought for sure it was going to be in there, and it's not. So this is going to be new for everyone here. Yes, although it's not a new song.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Yes, I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, 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 sunshiny day.
Yes, yes, yes. It's going to be a bright, sunshiny day because it is a bright, sunshiny day. Fabulous. Yeah. So this song came up when I came up with the idea for what I wanted the talk to be. Well, actually, when I went back and looked at my notes for what I had decided the talk was going to be, which is clearing the path. Clearing the path. And what I'm going to start with today is this notion. And it's all going to get, my idea is, of course, you know, I'm known for going off on tangents and and not getting to one of the points that I thought I was going to make. But I'm going to start with this idea. Okay. Clearing the path means forgiveness. And I am going to come back to that. But I want to start with that idea. Clearing the path means forgiveness. Forgiveness is a very powerful tool. You know, in the tenets of my ministry, it's one of the three main ones. Love only, forgive everything, remember who you are. When we forgive, when we live in that state of forgiveness, the path opens up clearly before each and every one of us. When we are in that place of forgiveness, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. And know that those obstacles have no bearing on how I choose to move forward. Yeah. There's a quote that I came across in my reading this week. Emily Cady wrote this, and it's a long one. It is from Lessons in Truth. It is a long one, but I want you to hear this. She wrote this: there are today two classes of people so far as mentality goes. Those who are seeking deliverance out of sickness, trouble, and unhappiness by spiritual means. One class requires that every statement made must be proved by the most elaborate and logical argument before it can or will be received. The other class is willing at once to become like children and then receive the light. Both are seeking, and both will reach the same goal. And neither one should be unduly condemned. This quote really struck me this week because it really speaks to, I think, a lot of what is happening in spiritual centers and in churches right now. There's a struggle happening within spiritual centers and within churches right now in terms of, and it was proliferated to a great degree on Friday when the pronouncement was made by the president that said all churches must open. And as I said at the beginning of the service, we are not closed. We're just not, the building is not accessible right now to the public. But we have been open. We have continued to honor our spiritual path. We have continued to offer spiritual nourishment. That is what we are here to do. And a building doesn't matter. What it is how do we take it into our heart? Now, there are people who will look at that and they say, we should be in the building. And that's okay. It is okay. But I really want to encourage each and every one of us to deepen into the notion and deepen into this idea that right where you are is that light. Right where you are is that light. And when we become like children, when we let go of the things we think we need to hold on to, we open ourselves up to being the light more and more and more. And I would like for all of us to determine, where are we on that scale? Because I think it is a scale. I think there's a scale of those of us who are holding on to that most elaborate logical argument that Katie talks about, and those of us who are willing to receive the light and just be. Just know for yourself where you are on that scale. Because I think even I'm going to let everybody off the hook right now, because even I am playing that game of like, which side of the equation am I on today? If we stand firm in spiritual truth, here's what that also leads to, is this question. If we stand firm in spiritual truth, can we ever be led astray? Now, I know that the intellectual answer is, of course not. But what does it mean? What does it mean for you personally to stand in spiritual truth so that you cannot be led astray? The way that we each stand in spiritual truth is individualized for and through each and every one of us. So the way that I stand in spiritual truth is not the same as the way anybody else stands in spiritual truth. It is a personal question. Can you ever be led astray? It is a personal question. Only you can know the answer for yourself because you are uniquely expressing as spiritual truth. The level of faith required to firmly stand in spiritual truth 100% of the time is more than many people can ever give over to. That includes ministers. I have yet to meet a minister in my own experience who stands firm in spiritual truth 100% of the time. We strive, we work, we practice, but there are times when that spiritual truth, we recognize and know that it's there, but it feels so much better to go over here. You ever feel like that? It just, it feels so good to go over there and have just a moment where here's principle, and here I'm stepping off principle for a moment to go and have a not so great experience. Because that's ultimately what it does, is that brings the energy down. And so our work is to recognize when that happens and get ourselves back right on spiritual truth right away. Last week I talked about stories, the stories that we are making up, the ones we're making up in the absence of facts. And, as a reminder, as I said last week, when we make up these stories, they become manifest in our lives. Why does that happen? Because we believe them. The degree to which we believe those stories are the degree to which they show up in our lives. Jesus said it. It is done unto you as you believe. So our work is to truly be on top of what it is we believe. Some of those stories are grounded in fact. Not all of them are grounded in fact. But where do we stand in spiritual truth to tell our stories? I take it as a practice, and I have learned, and I'm still learning every day more and more, and I'm given opportunities to learn the lesson more every single day. I have learned to step away from judgment and condemnation of those whose stories are not in alignment with mine. Sometimes it isn't easy, but it is always necessary. Why is it necessary? It's necessary because what I have discovered is I don't need others to bend to my way of being for my way of being to be valid. And that's oftentimes why people are telling the stories and why people are trying to convince you that they are right, because they want to be firm in their validity. They want to feel like what they are offering is valid. I don't need you to bend to my way of being for my understanding of my story to be valid. But conversely, I need to honor that I don't need to bend to your way for your story to be valid. They're all valid. My work is to do the best I can and to keep my mind focused at all times on spiritual truth. That focus, that deep focus, it is reliant on understanding and living my true identity. It's funny, I've been watching these videos, and there's a motion that I do all the time. Maybe people will, now everybody's going to start calling me out on it, but I do this all the time. I talk about, in sign language, that means God. And I do it beyond my comprehension of actively doing it. It's just a subconscious thing that I do. But it's oftentimes in alignment with true identity, knowing who I am. So there's a tacit agreement within my heart and my soul that I am that which is, as are we all. Who are you? Who are you? How do you identify yourself? How do you identify yourself? However you identify, that is your reality. How do you identify? Do you identify as determined, shy, happy, sad? I feel like I'm in an acting class again. Happy, sad, determined. How about your name? What does your name mean to you as a point of identity? Most of us accept the name we were given. My name is the name I was given, Jonathan. And lucky for me, I resonate with that name. I was named after Jonathan Livingston Seagull, because that book, when I was born, was like all the rage. And then I joke, so my father's in the room, and then I joke that my father wanted to call me Woody, after Woody Guthrie, right? He's nodding yes. But that got a nix, and I was called Jonathan, after Jonathan Livingston Seagull. I also have a story about what that meant for me. One of the stories that I had as a child that was my truth when I was a child, because I didn't understand anything different. So here's a story that I used to tell myself as a child. That my creation story of coming into being on this plane of action, now I'm using words I would never have used as a child, but I can use them now. That my creation story was that my uncle, not my father, I don't know why, but my uncle was out fishing in a fishing boat. And he cast a fishing line, and I, as a seagull, I was manifest as a seagull, I got caught up in the line, and he reeled me in, and when he reeled me in and I got into the boat, I turned into a little boy. That was my creation story, and that was true for me until I learned otherwise, until I accepted a different story. That story was my reality. And who's to say that on some plane of experience that was not an experience that I had? I think it's very possible. We are living an infinite life, and if it is possible in the mind, if it is happening in the mind, even in the most magnificent imagination, it is happening on some plane of experience somewhere. So I believe that on some plane of action, that was the experience of my innate individualization of the infinite coming into form as me. To assume that this is not the case means that I'm limiting the limitless. Why should it not be true? Why should it not be true? You really don't need to worry so much about those things, I don't think, anymore. Your reality needn't conform with anyone else's opinion. Your reality needn't conform with anyone else's opinion. Emerson said, conformity is the death of individualism. Conformity is the death of individualism. We should take our individualized nature of this divine power and move forward profoundly with it, more so now than perhaps ever before. Emerson also said, to be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest achievement. How many of us are truly living the greatest achievement? And how many times do we fall back into thinking, oh, I should be a lot more like that. I should be a lot more like what the world is telling me I should be like. And the world is, it is screaming for your attention. It is screaming for your attention. And we have built constructs around how the world is moving forward into trying to make you something other than what you are. It's all around us. It's in advertising. That's the most obvious one. Advertising persists because it is telling you that you are less than. And it's just simply not true. This also means when we step away from conformity and we broaden into our individualism, when we broaden ourselves into that magnificent capacity to be the greatest accomplishment of the divine, it means that we must eliminate judgment from our hearts because there's room for all of it. We must eliminate judgment from our hearts and any assumption that others should be like us. That's another big one. Advertising is telling it to us, but also we, on an individual level, we want other people to be like us because, again, it validates who we think we are. We should let that go. Let people be who they are. You should be the most magnificent you can be. Your primary work in this life is to be you. This is a means. The work it takes to truly be you. This is a means of clearing the path to up-level our experience of this thing called life. In that up-leveling, it illuminates for us that knowledge that we are more than the circumstances. We are more than the experiences by which we define ourselves. Deepen into the understanding right here and right now. Deepen into the understanding that you are more than all of it. You are more than your past. You are more than your future. You are more than your name. You are more than the limitations you've embodied because of your name. You are more than the limitations you have embodied because of ideas that you have pulled into your experience from your family unit. You are more than all of it. You are actually even more than the statement which I'm encouraging everyone to utilize in their life, that statement being, I am God. You are more than that. If you make that statement, and again, I'm saying we should all be stepping forward and understanding that we can step into the knowledge of saying, I am God. But if you are making that statement, in what way are you aligning that with a limited idea of what God is? Because here's how I have logically come to the conclusion that we must all step forth and say, I am God. It is in this, that if everything is God, that we are not separate from everything, so we are part of that which is. Why should we not exclaim for ourselves, I am God? But if we say, I am God, what is the idea that comes to mind around what God is? Because that is a limited idea. And part of the work in clearing the path is letting go of those limited ideas. Does the concept of God conform to you and your perceived limitations for yourself? Clear the path. Allow yourself to make that statement and let it be rooted in feeling. Let it be rooted in feeling, that space which is beyond words. Let it be rooted in feeling, that space which is beyond thought. Let it be rooted in feeling, that space which is beyond belief. Let it be rooted in feeling. How do you feel? What does it make you feel like? And then expand your sense of that feeling. When life is lived not by you or through you, but as you, free of your own limitations in mind, then you will transcend. You know, we are rooted, this philosophical movement, the New Thought movement, the unity churches, the religious science churches, the divine science churches, any aspect of New Thought, it roots back to not just the words of the ancient, but also it roots us back to the transcendentalists. Their concept was that we should transcend in our own mind that understanding that there is any limitation because there is none. Transcend beyond a sense of separateness. There is only this alignment. This is not a statement of condemnation. It is an encouragement. Allow yourself the luxury. I love that word. Allow yourself the luxury to become like a child and welcome the light of creation more readily in your heart now, today, more so than ever before. By stepping into that feeling, the feeling of the innate truth that is at your core, that you are the ineffable, that you are the source, that you are the light, that you are the life. When this understanding takes over, and I will refer to that understanding being the capital R reality. When that capital R reality becomes your lowercase r reality, which is the experience you are having, then you can no longer perceive the world in terms of separation in any form. To know who you are is to clear that path. And in clearing that path, we create a sense of infinite equity. To know who you are is to know who everyone and what everything is. Rooted in this understanding, there is no room for any isms or phobias. There is no room for any of it when we know who we are. To know who we are is the great equalizer. And in knowing who we are, forgiveness becomes innate. Forgiveness becomes an innate state of mind. In this understanding lies the realization that in the macrocosm, there is nothing to forgive. For everything that exists, all of it, is the givingness of Source. It is the givingness of God. It is the givingness of love. It is the givingness of the ineffable to itself for the purposes of creation. And so all creation is formed from that innate understanding that we are that which is. Everything is that which is. And that is the definition of love. The givingness of the Source to itself for the purposes of creation. It is creating of itself as an act of love. To create is to love. To forgive is to love. To remember who you are and who all others are is love. Yes, I can see clearly now because I see only through the eyes of love. Love clears the obstacles, clears the dark clouds that had me blind. Love is a bright, bright, sunshiny day, and you are the light of love that creates that bright, bright, sunshiny day. Namaste. I invite you now to just allow yourself to take to heart, if there's even just one kernel of truth, one idea that has resonated with you today that you can allow yourself to embody and walk away with today. Let it be fully present in your heart right here and right now. And with that, know this.
Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love. May I have no fear. All the power, all the glory, I surrender, let it be. Loving Spirit dwells in me, now and evermore. Loving Spirit dwells in me. This is my divinity. As within, so without. All I need is here and now. Where there's air, let me love.
This is the time. This is the time in our Sunday celebration where we give. So I'm going to encourage you to engage in the act of giving today by clicking that link. Well, there's not a link in the description field, but all right, here we go. You can go to unitytucson.com and you can click the link there to make a contribution today. You can also phone in your card during office hours and we can take that over the phone, or you can send in a check. There are many ways to give and all of them are blessed, and I am so deeply grateful for all that you give. And I know that this is simply a stopping point on this infinite circulation of this thing called financial energy. It's called money. It's God in action, and it is moving through this time and this place to do great works in the world. So why do we give? We give, I keep saying, because we want to be here, because that is part of the way that we assign value, and it is part of the way that we allow ourselves to live in an economy that says yes, yes, yes. And so as you give, you are receiving. Giving and receiving are the exact same thing. So let's read together our divine givingness statement as you honor what it is that you are contributing to Unity of Tucson today. Here we go. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I joyously contribute to my spiritual center, knowing that it goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless, and returns to me multiplied abundantly. I thankfully acknowledge God as my source. I like to move on this one.
Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful. Here we go. Gratitude before me, gratitude behind me, gratitude to the left of me, gratitude to the right of me, gratitude above me, gratitude below me, gratitude within me, gratitude all around me. I'm so grateful, 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 I'm so grateful.
Yes. So before we go to the announcements, I have to acknowledge something because I've been doing this every week, and some people may have noticed that when I sing the lyrics, gratitude to the left of me, I always go to my right. And gratitude to the right of me, I always go to my left because I'm trying to mirror what you could be doing out there. And so my right is your left when you're looking at me. That's why I do that. Here are the announcements for today. And here we go.
So the first thing is to check in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 1 p.m. Arizona time using Zoom to have a virtual coffee break with me and friends old and new. It's kind of a web-based meeting that is, and the link is also in the description of today's video. Also, don't forget that it is time for Bears in the Chairs. It is our annual event to collect new and unwrapped stuffed animals, which we donate as a community to Aviva, which is an agency supporting youth as they transition into foster care. While our activities continue to be virtual, you can drop off a stuffed animal during regular office hours, Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. We will continue to collect stuffed animals until the end of July. As always, don't forget to join us online for midweek spiritual practice, streaming on YouTube and Facebook. Get your midweek pick-me-up and a reminder of your inner truth every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Are you in need of prayer? Requests are always taken by sending an email to prayer@unitytucson.com. And don't forget that the activity of requesting what you need is the first step toward healing. The links for all of our virtual offerings can be found at unitytucson.com. And keep an eye out on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube, and keep up with everything that's going on. Thank you for being here and sharing your magnificence with us.
All right, and there we have it. I want to say thank you to everybody who made today's celebration happen. I want to say thank you to Wally and to my father, Don, for your technical support in ensuring that we are, seen and heard in all the magnificent ways. I want to say thank you to the band. Always a pleasure to play with you. Thank you so much today. Thank you to Laura for your consciousness, your presence, and for helping light the candles. And I really want to say thank you to every single one of you for tuning in, allowing us to continue in this virtual way so that we can make sure that our communities remain safe and secure and healthy. I am grateful for your willingness to move forward through this time in this way. So as we complete our time here, I'm going to invite you to share with me the prayer for protection. Let's read this together. The light of God surrounds me. I am that light. The love of God enfolds me. I am that love. The power of God protects me. I am that power. The presence of God watches over me. I am that presence. Wherever I am, God is. Wherever God is, I am. And so it is. Amen.
Now there is peace on earth, for it has begun with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Peace has begun with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Thank you, God, for peace on earth, for it has begun with me. Well, it's an idea whose time has come. A new generation decides as one. Of the same small planet we are born. It's never been so obvious before. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. The future of history is crystal clear. The borders between us will disappear. Of the same small planet we are born, and there's no foreign country anymore. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. We breathe the same air, drink the same water, walk the same earth, kiss the same sky. We breathe the same air. I think we ought to get along better, you and I. We breathe the same air. We breathe the same air.
Make it a magnificent week, everyone. Namaste.